We got a serious conversation, guys. Guys, settle down. Settle down. Everyone sit down. Grab you a snack. And let's have this serious conversation. What's that serious conversation may you guys think I'm asking? There is, throughout the years, a lot of scenarios where it'd be looking like the media just straight up hates Xbox. Now, a lot of people like to say it's media bias. You know, they're biased towards PlayStation. There's a lot of incidences throughout the time I've been covering Xbox. Let me put up that Starfield controller, where it really does look like, you know, the media just doesn't want to cover Xbox in a positive light. I will go out and say that when there's negative PlayStation news, it really doesn't feel like it lingers in the ether when it comes to the media too long. It looks like it is raised and deaded within a couple hours. But I feel like Phil Spencer says something and people could take his context out of placement and take it completely out of context. You're gonna see Phil Spencer's name in every media platform known to man. But when Jim Ryan came out and said, we believe in generations, or just generally, like, not necessarily lied, but really stretched that truth out, no one ever really talked about that. You know, for instance, when it comes to the fighting thing that just happened recently, for those of you that don't know, the last Evo just happened. You can look it up. The USB ports that was hooked up to the PlayStation 5s was melting fight sticks. There were some people that covered it, but I'm willing to tell you right now, I didn't really see it too much out there. Now maybe it's out there, and it's just, since it's negative PlayStation news, it's not being circulated as fast as everything else. I just didn't see too many people talking about it. I didn't see too many YouTube videos about the issue. I didn't see too much media about the issue. There's been a lot of incidences where PlayStation, maybe it's a hardware malfunction or a game breaking, where it's like there is initial conversation and then it ends. I feel like when it comes to Xbox, there's initial conversation, there's an updated conversation, there's an updated story. Then a week later, they ask, is it fixed? And then it ends. The same story I feel sometimes that Xbox could have that's a negative notation on the brand can be talked about for months when that same PlayStation story is talked about and no one brings it up again in a couple days. Does that mean there's a media bias? I would say there's a bias within people working in media. I would say that. But as far as like a media bias, I'm not 100% on that yet. I think these media outlets, you know, let's give a prime example. You guys know Game Rant. Let's look at this Game Rant article. All right, let's look at it. As you guys can see, this is on Twitter. Shout out to Crazy June. He showed all these articles that has been taken place within, I would say, the past month. You know, May 4th, April 17th. So it's been a couple months. May, April. And this one was posted 2 days ago. Going the hard sci-fi route for Starfield means its characters might not hold a candle to Saint Row. Really? Comparing it? Okay, whatever. Starfield procurement generated plans may already pale in comparison to Star Wars Jedi Survivor. Really? Okay. The pressure is on Starfield after Redfall's lackluster reviews. Okay, that one's genuine. I feel like that's fair. That's a fair criticism. Starfield's lost his Avatar Frontier of Pandor's game. I didn't even read that. I don't even know what that's about. What? Okay. Starfield's lost his game for Naughty Dog's rumored sci-fi game. So Starfield, I guess they've lost something to a rumored sci-fi game. Naughty Dog's rumored new sci-fi function IP could fill in the gaps left by Bethesda's highly anticipated Starfield in interesting ways. Clearly, these are clickbait articles. Like, what? Okay. The scale of Starfield's hard sci-fi universe may be too big for its britches. The game's not even out. I get that news is light, but damn. Starfield's programmably generated planets may have already dropped the ball on navigation. Yo, let's see if hold up. Okay, let's see. This one was done by Zachary Grief. This up here in my right. So it's completely two different writers, and they're having like generally the same title. So that's a little suspect to me. You know, you guys see on my channel, I'm making a lot of, you know, titles dedicated to Xbox because I'm one individual making multiple Xbox content. It's weird that's literally the same title almost, but just a couple words at the end. Okay. Redfall Shanky launch has left Starfield fans concerned. In no way, shape, or form did I see Starfield's fans concerned that Redfall was a shaky launch. And I think shaky launch is an understatement. In no way, shape, or form did I see Starfield fans. I saw Xbox fans. And, you know, to a point I agree. You know, when we're seeing a negative game in the same hemisphere known as an Xbox exclusive, you would generally be concerned for other Xbox exclusives. I don't personally agree because, you know, Redfall is made by Arcane and Starfield made by Bethesda Software Studios. Two different studios. I digress. So, you know, we got that going on. And then we had something interesting happen yesterday. And I looked for the videos and I couldn't find it. But for some reason, I don't know what happened, but they were, IGN over there, they were releasing these videos that says, you know, what are the games that you should be excited for this month? And I kid you not, guys. I kid you not. And I don't know how this happened. They left out Xbox in almost every one of those third-party games. I think Mortal Kombat. There's a couple other games. You guys look it up. I'm pretty sure Dustin had it fixed. But what? Like, you know, clearly that's a mistake. But how does IGN mess something like that up? You know, it's just a weird thing. It's like, look, I get where people are coming from. I do. There is a lot of people in this industry that either A, know they're going to get money if they talk snap about Xbox, or B, they just don't want their money itself is related to Xbox. That's where I feel like the two roads are. You know, when you're making content creation, first off, let's just talk about the console war stuff is completely took over when it comes to media thing. They know the clicks are there. They know that if they go left or right when it comes to console war stuff, 1 week it's way more lucrative to talk smack about Xbox than PlayStation, and the next week is vice versa. So they're going to go whatever the wind blows. Then you got individuals in the media that just don't like Xbox, but they write about Xbox. Makes no sense to me. Then you got websites that have learned that there's a huge demographic of people that really, really cap when it comes to console war, and they're making those articles strictly for them people. But the question is, and the question I've heard for years, is there a media bias towards Xbox? And I mentioned that at the beginning. I didn't want to give a definitive answer till I showed you guys at least that one example. It's like, I don't think there's necessarily a media bias, but I think that a lot of these outlets need to really strengthen and tighten the leash in terms of who is writing these articles and who is editing these articles, because clearly the website's just letting them go out. I get it. Websites are in a weird infrastructure because YouTube, podcasters, streamers, they have went so above and beyond where they're becoming the definitive places to get news, where now websites that aren't as big as IGN have to go with this clickbaity stuff to stay afloat. I feel them on that. I do. I don't know if there's a good or a proper way of fixing that, guys, because I don't think that people are reading as much as they're watching. I think people watch YouTube way more than they read articles. The only times I ever read articles is like I'm trying to get like a collectible or something from a video game, and I would prefer just to read where it is, whether or not watching where it is. Now, if I read it and I still can't find it, then I'll bring up a YouTube video. But that's all. That's the only time I look up articles these days, is when I'm looking for collectibles, or maybe, you know, Baldur's Gate. What's the popular builds in Baldur's Gate right now? Baldur's Gate 3. Just to get a general idea of what people are using in the community of Baldur's Gate. That's all. So people are using console wars to fluff those numbers because they need those numbers to make the money from advertisers and vice versa. And I feel them on that. But what I'm seeing now isn't the way. It's got to be fixed. And IGN, you should be ashamed of yourself for forgetting one of the biggest platforms that's on your that is wrote about on your website. And the other company, you know, I don't understand how Game Rant just lets these type of articles go out consistently. Now, clearly, I haven't really looked through their stuff a whole lot, but this individual said, I can't quite put my finger on it, but something makes me think Game Rant has already decided on a 6 for Starfield. And when you see that many articles being very negative about Starfield for a variety of reasons that really don't make sense, I can understand why they would think that. But anyway, put in the comment section below, do you guys think there's a media bias? I know this is a long video, and I know my mindset was everywhere, but I didn't really script this video. I didn't have bulletin points. I just wanted to come here and just give my opinion on the matter. You know, I'm curious to your guys' opinion down there. If you like the video, definitely hit that like button. It helps out the channel. Sub to the channel. I do weekly content. And until next time, this is Gaming Addict. I'm out of here. Peace.